Welcome back to Titans Talk. I am your host, Mike McCamey, and without further ado, let's get right into it. So today I'm going to be going over the top 5 offensive breakout candidates for the Tennessee Titans in 2023. Now, this list, usually I see these lists around the internet, and I'm not too sure if I believe in them, because some of them have guys like Racy McMath on there, which I do not understand at all. But anyway, so there are obviously two that are going to be on here, and those are going to be the first ones that I knock out. So let's get right into it. All right, so the first candidate is Treylon Burks. Okay, now I know everyone saw this come. Everyone saw this coming, especially from me, because I am a big Treylon Burks fan. Like, I have been by his side since he made his debut, and I think that he's just going to be really good this year. And it's not even just because he's the only okay receiver in our receiver core, for being honest. Well, maybe not, but we'll get to that later. But he is he's a very he's a very good player. He's got a very good work ethic from what I can tell, at least. I know that he came into training camp out of shape last year and ended up, losing gas and could barely even finish a practice. But this year he looks so much more improved. He's been doing great stuff throughout all of the practices. I heard one report that said he hadn't dropped a pass. I don't believe that, but it's fun to look at it, at least for an optimistic point of view. But yeah, Traylon. There are obvious reasons for this. The first one being that he's the only good He's probably the only good receiver in the receiving core. Again, he may not be, but that's for later. But you see, in my opinion, it's gonna be like he's gonna have that type of AJ Brown role. Now, do I think he's gonna be as good as AJ Brown? Heck no. But I think that he is going to do some great things for the Titans this year. And if he has that breakout season like everyone's expecting him to, I think we could be back in the wild card discussion. I know that not that many people are high on us this year. I saw a record prediction yesterday that has us going 3-14. Good gosh, man. I don't think that we're going to be that bad. Like, I don't think we're going to be some type of powerhouse and get the one seed like we did in 2021. But like, you can't count out a Vrabel coached team. This team is going to have some fight in them. But anyway, back to Treylon. Treylon, he just, I feel like that he has all the makings of a breakout player. He's honestly one of my targeted guys in fantasy football this year because he's going to be the only one getting targets except for one other. Again, we'll get to that one. He's the next person, actually, because everyone knows who the next person is. And I am not going to say it right now because if you are a Titans fan, you've already guessed. But, Treylon, uh, you know, I've seen flashes in him that I think he can be a true number one receiver. I know that a lot of people are saying that he's a number two at best, but like I also heard this specific statistic that if he would have stayed healthy all year, he would have had a very similar season. Maybe not as many touchdowns, but a very similar rookie season of AJ Brown. Now, again, am I saying that he's as good as AJ Brown? No, that was lightning in a bottle, and I'm really upset that we traded him away. Everyone still has trauma over that. Every Titans fan, at least, has trauma over AJ Brown being traded. But yeah, that's basically my point for Treylon, and I think that he'll do really well this year. Okay, now the next person is very obvious as well. It's Chig. Okay, I'm not even going to try and pronounce his last name. It's like Chigezum Okonkwo. I don't know how to pronounce it, but anyway, uh, why I think that Chig will break out is because, first off, his tight end room isn't that great. I mean, Josh Weil was my least favorite pick of the draft. And, you can go back and watch the first episode. You see how much I hate that pick, especially because of a guy that we drafted that we could have drafted, but we instead decided, oh yeah, no, let's go with this tight end that we don't even need. I mean, he's 6'7", but anyway, he is a very. I feel like that a lot of fantasy football sites are also marking him down for a breakout season. Okay, for obvious reasons. Again, our receiver core is not that great, even though 3 out of my 5 guys are also potential receiving breakouts. But anyway, I'm spoiling too much. But, to me, Chig is the most likely out of all these guys because I feel like that our offense is going to do a lot of dump off passes to Chig because we're trying to keep Ryan Tannehill in that game manager form as long as possible before we have to let him go. Because it's very obvious that we do. I mean, there's a reason that we drafted 2 QBs back to back years. But anyway, um, you know, I feel like that Chig is going to have about. Okay, so I didn't make a prediction for Traylon. My apologies for his total yardage, which I would say, looking back at it, probably like 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns is my final prediction for him. But for Chig, my final prediction for his receiving stats are 700 yards, and I think he'll have 10 touchdowns. I think he'll have more than Traylon. Don't sleep on Weil though, because as much as I didn't like the pick, he's probably going to be our biggest red zone threat because he's so tall. Like, I mean, he may also just be a blocking tight end for all we know. But anyway, getting caught off topic with good old Weil, who I don't even like that much. But anyway, um, I am really interested in Jig because he is probably the most flashy player on our team. Like, I'm not too sure if anyone saw this, but there was this one clip that came out. It was of our tight ends coach, who has been the running back coach the past few years, who said, Chig made a very unnecessary one-handed catch. I'll put it that way, because it was just an easy route. It was like right in the breadbasket, and he said, "Oh man, I forgot what he said, but you, but he said something. I remember what he said. The Titans coach said, "Chig, catch the ball with one hand. Stop being a prima donna." And you know, as much as I don't want to go up against our own coaches, it's true. Like, we gotta have like some type of prima donna things on our team. Like, we're boring. That's the truth. That's why there's not that many fans of us. We also haven't been around for that long, so that could be a good reason too. But like, man, I don't. Man. Anyway, so Chig, flashy guy, very good player. He's big on yak is the big thing. Like, he always finds a way to get good yardage out of anything. Like, the Chiefs game is a perfect example of that. Yeah, so overall, Chig, flashy guy. I think he's going to be really good for us. Now, the third person that I have, this is whenever we get into the area of, like, you may not know who they are, but, I think that they could be really good, because the next one is a dude named Kyle Phillips. Now, Kyle Phillips is the very stereotypical slot receiver. Okay, like, the reason I even think he could break out is because if you watched the if you watched us play against the New York Giants, then you know why I'm coming at this. Because anyway, because I'm just a big fan of that performance, and I think that could be a very interesting. I think that could just be a sign of things to come. Okay, and now it's very hard to talk about him though, because we have such a small sample size of him, because he was usually stuck in the receiver depth chart, and even even whenever he had the chance to climb the ladder, he would not be able to, because we had two obvious receiver 1 and 2, and for some reason I don't know what this was about, but if you watched the Titans last year, you know dang well that for some reason we really like Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. He is very obviously not that great. He's such a mediocre receiver that it's so upsetting whenever we would have plays just drawn up so specifically for him. But our rookie wide receiver, oh yeah, no, don't give him any specific plays for him. Even though he's probably going to be one of the most important parts of our team these next few years. No, we got to design ones for the mediocre journeyman. Anyway, but yeah, I hate Todd Downing. By the way, I'm probably going to do something about the coaching staffs, and I will have a lot to say about Tim Kelly. But anyway, yeah. So I really, I'm interested in Kyle Phillips because you know I think that he has the potential to be like a Hunter Renfro, and I'm not going to say that he has the potential to be a West Welker. No, not a West Welker. Sorry, a Wes Welker, because he doesn't. He's not going to be Wes Welker good. Everyone knows that. But I think they could have the chance to be Hunter Renfro good from like these past 2 years. I know that that is a bold prediction, but that's just my taste on him. Because, like, oh man, that Giants game, man, he did so much for us in that game, and I just, oh man, I love it. I love it, and I think he's going to be such a good addition to this receiver core. Even though it upsets me that if we sign D Hop, that he's probably going to be relegated to a receiver 4. If I'm being honest, I think Westbrook Akine should be in that position if we do end up getting D Hop. But, just my 2 cents. But because, I know that Vrabel knows better than me. I haven't even played organized football in my life. I'll play street football, but I've never played like X's and O's stuff. So, like, what more do I know? But anyway, not Chig, sorry. Kyle Phillips is the prototypical slot receiver, and I think that he could do a lot more for us than most people expect. All right, fourth person. Now this one, uh, people will know who this is, especially if you're a true football fan. This next dude, his name is Andre Dillard. Now, I don't like to usually touch on the offensive line to be like, oh yeah, this guy's going to break out this year, because that's just because I don't know anything about offensive linemen, because like all that I know is PFF and sacks allowed. That's the truth. But I got a feeling about Andre Dillard because I think that people who have been keeping up with football actually do really enjoy how fast he is, which I am really excited about, especially because he replaces potentially an O lineman that potentially had the worst NFL season for any offensive lineman in history, and that guy's name was Dennis Daly. Okay, and anyone who is here that is not a Titans fan, Dennis Daly, I know what you're thinking. It sounds more like a Saturday morning cartoon, or like a Saturday morning like talk show or something. Like, today we're here on Dennis Daly, and here's your host, Dennis. I don't know, but anyway, it just feels like his name sounds more like a TV show of some sorts. But anyway, I'm getting caught off guard. But yeah, Dennis Daly was so horrible that I think he made the offensive line look a lot worse than it actually was, because I think Andre Dillard, he doesn't even have to be like this amazing otherworldly guy. He just has to be good. He just has to be okay, and he'll be better than Dennis Daly. So to me, Andre Dillard, I think he has a lot of upside and talent, and I hope that he's able to use that in Tennessee. But it's interesting to me because fast like a fast offensive lineman is probably not our style. From what I can tell, Vrabel likes more physical offensive linemen, big guys that will get into your throat. That's why we drafted Josh Weil, because he wants a blocking tight end that's just big. But anyway, yeah, I really, really love, the idea of Andre Dillard being on this team, though. Mostly just because of the fact that you know I feel like that he actually wants to be here and he'll actually break out. Oh yeah, And let me mention, he used to play for the Eagles, so he was buried behind a lot of talent. we get they get AJ Brown, and we get Andre Dillard. Oh yeah, we definitely won that. But anyway, I don't understand why we traded away AJ Brown. But anyway, you know, I am really happy that we signed Andre Dillard, because I think he's gonna do some solid things for us, and I think that he's definitely going to be better than Dennis Daly. Any Titans fan who watched any of the games in that 7-game losing streak know that any left tackle would be better than Dennis Daly for us. But yeah, that's. But yeah, Andre Dillard. The reason I think he's a breakout candidate is because I don't think he's going to be Dennis Daly bad. That's just the truth. But I think that he also has a lot of potential too, and I'm just really excited to see how he does. That left side, if Andre Dillard ends up being okay, I think that left side could be one of the better left sides in the NFL, especially mostly just because Skronsky's there. So like Andre Dillard has to be okay, and both of those guys, if they hold down the left side right, we're gonna be good on the left side of the offensive line. But anyway, yeah, that's how I feel about Andre Dillard. But anyway, the last person that I'm going to mention is, now he's a rookie. So like this is a weird mention, I understand. But as a receiving threat, I think that Tajay Spears, I know that he's a rookie, so technically it wouldn't be a breakout, but like someone that I think is going to shock some people this year is Tajay Spears in his receiving potential, not in his running potential, because everyone knows that Derrick Henry has that spot locked down. But even if he does get injured, I could see Tajay doing pretty good for himself. But anyway, I'm really I'm really high on Tajay Spears. I know how many people don't like him, because like ACL stuff and whatnot. But to me, his ACL stuff that came out like before his breakout season at Tulane, so I don't understand it. Like whenever he was at Tulane, he carried that offense, and he's the reason that they won that bowl game and lit up USC. Like, I know, okay, the Pac 12 defenses aren't usually that great. I said that in the first episode of this whole thing, for goodness sakes. But like a Pac 12 defense compared to a what conference is Tulane even in? I can't remember. It was like the American Alliance or something like that. It's one of those obscure conferences. Anyway, Tulane is nothing compared to USC. That's just the truth. But Tajay was able to carry them. So like anyway, but like back to his receiving potential. He's fast. He's very, very fast. And Dontrell Hilliard did not come back to us, at least from what I can remember. But you know, obviously, I think that he has a lot more potential than Dontrell Hilliard. Again, like I said earlier, obviously, but I I'm just really happy that we picked Tajay Spears. I hated it at the time because I was just like, a running back, why not a receiver? But you know, I have warmed up to the idea of getting Tajay because at at worst he's an okay receiving threat. At best, he is a running back or running back for the future, and is going to take the reins once Derrick Henry retires and whatnot. Anyway, so my personal thoughts on Tajay Spears are, overall, I think he's going to be somewhere. I think that he's going to be somewhere in the middle of the worst and best. I think that he'll start for us for like 2 or 3 years, but I don't think he's going to be. But I don't think he's going to be better than Derrick Henry. We know that. Not that many people are better than Derrick Henry. Let's be real. But I overall, I think that he has the potential to be the next decent running back for us, like this guy right here. But, he's never going to be as good as this guy right here. We all know that. But I think that he has the potential to be better than DeMarco Murray whenever he was here. And now, no one remembers this, but DeMarco Murray was very good whenever he was here. No one talks about that, though, because they only think about his Cowboys days and his Eagles days, even. But, yeah. Okay, so Tajay Spears is going to be a good receiving threat for us. But anyway, that's going to do it for today. I've really enjoyed talking about this, even though I do understand that some of these guys I'm still not completely sure of. Like, it was hard to have a long discussion about Kyle Phillips, because he only played like because he had one really good game. But I still think that he has the potential to break out. But that's going to be all for me today. Thank you for watching, and tighten up.